somebody don't mind holding the hearts, that'd be great. Appreciate it. One more minute, and then we'll get this show on the road, y'all. Welcome everybody to Pour It On with Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Tag app. Pour It On is a show where artist experience doesn't matter. All you need is your will to learn, paint, create, and have fun. On Pour It On, you'll follow along with myself on one pouring technique that I selected for this week's episode. Iconic painter Bob Ross said, "We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents. So let's pour it on and see what we can create." All right, you guys. I don't know if you guys tuned in last week, but we've kind of been keeping this theme going on with Metallic. I think we're going to try to close it out here this week with this week's piece. As you can see, I have two panels here. We have two panels here, so the pour is going to go over both panels simultaneously today. All right, and for today's pouring technique, we are going to do what's called a Dutch pour. I've done it previously on an episode. We've never done it with a panel, let alone two panels. So this is going to be a first with the hopes that we can get some good floral patterns going on here, and with also the hopes that we can throw some resin on that at the end when it dries. So today we're going to start with our base coat. You know, I usually like to use white or black for my base coat. Today we're going to go with the white. I have used other colors for base coat, but I like to use these. I like the contrast that they give. I already have my white base coat mixed up because I knew I was going to have to use a lot of it. Just reusing a popsicle stick here. But let's get into today's color selection. I'm going to grab some. I'm going to use some regular grass green here. Pop that open. All right. Getting paint all over me already. So I'm going to add some green here. And then fill that up to that first line. All right, so we got our green, our regular green. I'm going to use, let's see, mint green. I think this is mint. Yeah, mint green. Use that as my next color. All right, this got clogged at the nozzle, so I'm just going to pour this in my cup. I'm just going to let that basically go up to our first line as well. We're done with that color. I'm about to get another one of those. We have a couple more cups here. We have our lime green. Get that nice general shape. Make sure we don't have no clumps in it. All right, so we're gonna put that. Got that up to our lime. So we got the lime green as well. And then we're gonna use this. Okay, that's stuck, so I'm just gonna leave it. It's called mossy metal. It's another form of green. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that to my other cup here. This one is not pre-mixed. Some of the other ones are pre-mixed. I was trying to get these different shades of green going on with our leafy area. So we've done that. I'm gonna go ahead and add some floral to our grassy green. Actually, let me shake that up real quick so we don't have any chunks. If you guys are just tuning in, this is Pour It On Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today we are working on a double panel Dutch pour. We have our base color, which is our white. I have so far 4 shades of green that I'm going to be adding on top of this white that we have here. Go ahead and add some floral of that. I'm going to add just a little bit to this since it already has a medium in it. And then this mossy, we're gonna go ahead and add a nice amount to that since that's our regular acrylic paint. It doesn't have a medium in it, so I have to add it to it just to give it that effect. Gonna go ahead and drop our acrylic pouring oil lubricant in here. Gonna add 3 drops to each one of these. And then we are going to stir it up. Stir up our colors, make sure mixed up really well there. Appreciate the love, y'all. Okay. Green is still a little thick, so I'm gonna add a little bit of water to it so we can get that fluid. And make sure it's fluid like the rest of our pouring paints because we're gonna be using air to manipulate the paint, and that's okay. We're gonna need a little bit more water. A little bit more water. You want to start off with little amounts and slowly add, because if you just sit there and try to put too much water in, you might be sabotaging yourself. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna take one of these sticks because I don't like it's not getting at the bottom of our paint cup here, so it's not really mixing up well like I want it to. All right. And you want the paint to be like running like this. It should be running off the your arts and crafts popsicle stick. It's like a warm syrup consistency. All right, let me get this mint green mixed up a little bit. Get this mint green mixed up a little bit. All right. I don't have much of the mint green, but I'm gonna make it do what it do. Make it do what it do. I just wanted that color in with the green because we're concentrating on the different shades right now. And then I have this lime green. So I'm hoping these really come out. And that's the right type of consistency we're talking about. And then I have this mossy, which is like a, I don't know, like a dullish, like green color. I'm gonna add a little water to this one, just because it was acrylic paint, and gotta get that fluid. I'm gonna make sure it's fluid like the rest of the paints. Mix this one up really well. Alright, got that. I'm gonna add. I normally only use a couple of colors, but today we're gonna do a couple of different colors, y'all. Just because I'm trying to get those different contrasts with the colors. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this metallic gold. We're gonna add this to a cup. I'm not gonna use much of it. I just want to have like some accent with it, to be honest with you. So we're not gonna go too crazy with it. Let me make sure I get my Floetrol and add it to the, all right. Got the Floetrol added to that. I'll make sure we get this all mixed up, and you can use popsicle sticks. You can use I got straws that I'm using because I'm just throwing them away anyway. The popsicle sticks you can probably reuse multiple times, with these straws, for real, kind of be in the way. But it was cheap, and they serve their purpose, so that's why we use them. Add a little water to that. A little bit more to this. If you guys are just tuning in, this is Poured on Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today we are working on the Dutch pour technique. Dutch pour is where you take your paint and a form of air, whether it be using a straw, a blow dryer, your mouth, and you're just manipulating the paint with your mouth or one of those items to create an image. A lot of people use it to do flowers and floral techniques. I've seen people do planets. It's just what your preference is or what you feel like doing that day. Today we're going to do a more floral type pattern. So I got one metallic. I wanted to add one more metallic color, and I think I'm going to bring that peacock in that we used before. I know this is like a lot of blue, green type, but just playing. Play with it and see what happens. I'll play with it and see what happens. So I'm gonna add some of this peacock turquoise. And throw our Floetrol on there. Bring it up to our first line. And then we'll take it. All right, so just trying to get this peacock mixed up a little bit with this Floetrol so that we can make sure that it is fluid as well before we start pouring our paint on the canvas. And realistically, I would say mixing the paint is probably going to be your longest time when it comes to doing the pour. You want to make sure that you got your right consistency. You want to make sure you have your base color picked out. And you kind of want to have an idea of what you want to do with your pour, whether it be, in this case, like a Dutch pour or a dirty pour. Last week we did a open cup pour, and that one came out quite nice. All right, grab this water, add some water to it. Still not fluid. And then I'm going to add some of our lubricant. Make sure you got a drop cloth, y'all, too, because you don't want to be messing up your furniture. You don't want to be messing up your furniture. This one is not trying to mix, and I think we got some stuff settled at the bottom, so I'm going to grab another popsicle stick from over here. Yeah, that's what I thought. There's paint sitting in the bottom that wasn't stirring up, so it wasn't. I'm still thick in some spots. There we go. So make sure we get that all mixed in together, and it's running off nice. All right. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add our base color, which is our white. Which is our white. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and move this, kind of move it around so that the canvas is covered. And we want both of these canvases covered, because we're going to be going across both of these canvases. It's going to be one motion so that they go together, basically. Now you can do it in one panel, you can do it in 2 panel, 3 panel. If you want to do it for 4 panels, you can. You see the wall paintings that are like staggered and stuff like that. You can do the same stuff with pouring techniques. All right, we almost got this covered. All right. Ooh, did not mean to do that. All right. I'm going to take my painting knife and kind of spreading it outward so we can cover the canvas. You can use the blow dryer to do it, but I'm already going to be using the blow dryer to kind of maneuver the paint that we're putting on top of the white. So I'm trying not to do that much splattering of paint everywhere. You got paint room to do this, that'd probably be the best spot for it. Or if you got like a nice big garage or shed or something, that would probably be more ideal than your own living room or something. But we're using what we got, right? All right. So with that being said, we have our green. If you guys are just tuning in, this is Poured on Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are currently working on a Dutch pour. We have selected the colors, which we have variations of greens. We did keep the trend with the metallic colors, so we have 2 metallic colors incorporated with today's piece. We are getting to add the paint to the canvas now that we have our base color. And I'm just gonna
power off.
All right. So we got the regular green. I'm gonna come with the gold. In the middle with the gold. Ooh, it's a little bit too much right there. A little bit too much. Let's sit down here. All right. So then we're gonna come back with our mossy green that I'm gonna add. Mossy green. Got our mossy green. I'm gonna come back with our lime green. All right, lime green. I'm going to use this regular green one more time and bring that down in the middle. All right. Now we have our peacock, which I'm gonna do on the outside of this green on this side. All right. I'm gonna come back on the other side and we're gonna add a all right. We still got our mint green. So I'm about to come down the middle with that. Mint green. Ooh. There we go. Got our mint green. And I'm just gonna come back with one more thing of gold down the middle of that. You guys are just tuning in. This is Poured On with Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are currently working on a Dutch pour, and I have already added all of our colors for today's pour on here. We have a variety of greens. We have gold, and we do have our metallic incorporation here. So now that we've got our paint on the canvas, you guys, now it's the time to manipulate the canvas with the air. So I'm going to get out the blow dryer and get that plugged up. So this time we're going to do that. All right. All right. So I'm going to take the blow dryer and I'm going to move the white paint inwards towards the colors, just so that it picks some of that up. There we go. There's a technical difficulty with knocking down the stand. Here we go. All right. So we're going to just take the blow dryer and bring the paint inwards. All right. Before we move it back outward, I'm going to throw a torch on it so we can get those cells forming. Right there. Alright, so we're gonna glue the paint out some. Let me get this bottom area right here. Alright. Let's get this bottom area right here. Trying to get that. Let me get this knife right quick. That'll be better. Just gonna pull some of that out there. And we're gonna hit it with some more fire, just so get some of those cells popping in. Okay. Let me see something. Guys are just tuning in. This is Poured on Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just poured our paint on the canvas. We're manipulating it now with the air. I'm going to do some pulls just to get some more white paint. Let me see. Got some cells developing here. It's not nothing too crazy, but got some nice action going over here, a little bit down here. Let's see here, what can we do? Where's that green at? There we go. Just trying to bring that line a little bit darker, but messed it up. Just trying to bring that in. All right, we're going to add a little bit more torch to that. I'll probably like add some like flowers or something to this once it dries a little bit. But I like how the pour blended, the colors complement each other there. And we're getting a lot of great sales on this one. A lot of great sales. But if you guys are just tuning in, this is Poured on Juancho. You can find us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are currently finishing up our pour. I know that this is something I'm probably going to come back to and do some other things with. I like how it's kind of got the leafy stuff going on. So I'm probably going to come back and do some flowers and add some flowers to this on top of that once this initial piece dries. But nonetheless, we're going to move on to what I call our show and tell Q&A. Okay. The question is, can you tell us why you chose your color selection and what do these colors represent to you? Like I said, we've done the Dutch pour on here before, you guys. It was in my first season of doing the show, my pilot season. So with that being said, I wanted to do something that was on 2 panels as opposed to just doing a one panel Dutch pour. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with doing the one panel, but I like the uniqueness and how you can bring two panels together to make one image. So I decided to go with a bunch of greens because, like I said, in my head, when I was thinking about it, I could come back and put some flower, some type of floral, like flowers or something on there. We have the leafy aspect of it, and while it's abstract, there will be, like, I'll have to come back in to do some detailings and stuff like that to get the foliage a little bit fuller. But I like what it's done thus far. Um, let's see here. If I could title the painting, what would I call it? We got someone, what, Ginger Juice saying Mother Earth. I don't know that I really have a title for this one. I'm open Green Team. We got Mother Earth and Green Team. I'm open to suggestions. I don't think I've ever really been kind of just stumped on one. You know, last week we had Category 5. That one was kind of like self-explanatory. It just did what it did, and it was right there. And you know, so this one, does give Earthy Leaf vibes. I like Mother Earth. That's a, and it reminds me, like, I don't know if you've ever looked at, you guys, we all had science, right? We all had science. When you look in the microscope, that's what it kind of reminds me of, looking at, you know, a plant in a microscope and then seeing all the cells from that. That's what this really reminds me of. Like, you're looking at it through a microscope and it's really zoomed in on it, especially when you get to like this right here and some of these right here, which is great. I love it. Now that I completed the painting, what was my favorite part about it and what I changed? My favorite part about it was just coming up with the idea of going with all the greens. Like, you know, the techniques I usually know what I'm going to do for the most part. Sometimes I switch it at the last minute if I'm not really feeling it. But Dutch pour is something we haven't done in a while. It was suggested, and I felt like, okay, let's go with some like earthy tones. Let's do. We're gonna get this part of it done. We're gonna come back, add some flowers to it, and it's all abstract, you guys. So I'm sure if you're a viewer, you know, at home, you might see something different. I don't know. You can drop your suggestions in the comments of what you see out of the image. What would I change about it? I might have made sure, like, it, like here and a little bit, like here, kind of might have got the color a little bit more fuller so that it could connect. I can do some manipulation with it later and get it to look, you know what I mean? Uh, you want to see the finished product. So we can, you know, get those lines a little bit cleaner over there. But this one, I think I definitely want to resin once I get it complete in its entirety. I just love the way it looks, and I think it'll give a nice finish to it once it's resonated. But that is what we have for today's show. So at this time, I'm going to open the floor for those of you guys that might be in the comments or might have a question. If you're interested in being on the show, the Instagram is attached to my profile, as well as please subscribe to the YouTube, y'all. I'm trying to get the subscribers up on that. Let me go ahead and flip this around for you. Get the camera view. Let me go ahead and take the box down so you guys can actually get that. And as I was saying, like, if you can really see the cells in this. how they just kind of spider out. And that peacock really complemented those greens. And I wasn't sure how the mossy was going to go with it, but I knew they were all green and everything. So I'm like, some gotta give. Some gotta give. But I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm claiming it. I'm claiming it. Like the ocean and the land, beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Oceanic for sure. I can see that. I can see that. You got any other questions in the audience today? Anybody have any questions about today's pour? We did use, like I said, we used grassy green, we used mint green, we used lime green, we used peacock pearl, and we used metallic gold. So we have the two metallics are peacock pearl and our metallic gold. Um, and the gold, like you can't see it per se 100% right in this moment, but once it dries, like that gold is gonna pop, yo. I don't think y'all understand, especially in these areas where it outlines some of the green colors. That gold is really gonna pop. So once that happens, and then you put that resin on top of it, it's gonna change the whole dynamic of the piece. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. I might have to just use this. And I'll probably maybe I could just do it on another episode, the second part to it, so you guys can see. Um, like when I put the flowers and stuff on it. We'll see. Sometimes I come back on another episode and do the piece. Sometimes I just do it on my free time, just depending on how I'm feeling. Some of you guys that got a chance to see the Year of Jordan piece, I know I worked on that twice on the show. And then I worked on it a few days outside of the show before that was complete. So sometimes I bring them back, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what I got going on and how bored I am, really, honestly. It'd be how bored I am if I really want to work on something. Any more questions? Anybody looking to be on the show, don't be scared. I promise you'll enjoy it, and it's relaxing. I got some extra paint, so I know I'm going to be doing another canvas probably after the show. So those of y'all that tend to hang out after the show, if I have a lot of extra paint, and it's not that I have a lot of extra paint, but I don't like wasting the paint, so I tend to get another canvas and then you know, do something with the paint on that canvas. So salute, salute, salute. I appreciate all the love, y'all. Thank everybody popping in. Any more questions? And the cells are still developing. So the cells are going to develop on this and basically until it's like starting to set. Like while it's still pretty damp and it's drying, um, what's the top coat that you use? So I usually I usually put resin on some of the pieces. You don't have to. I have pieces without resin that, so this is a piece without resin that's probably going to end up getting resin, but it doesn't have resin on it currently. Over here knocking over my iPad. And then here is a piece that actually has resin on it. So it gives it like a glass look to it. Yeah, it gives it a glassy glazed look. Like, here's another one. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. Like I don't put it on every piece. It depends on the piece. To be honest with you, if that piece to me is like, man, it looks good, but I can see it looking a lot doper if I put the resin on it, then I'm gonna go for it. Um, like the year Jordan piece. Initially in my head, I wasn't even thinking about the resin. It wasn't until the piece started to kind of unfold. We did like the pour. We actually did a pour Mod Podge resin, and I built a whole like basketball net on there too out of yarn. Like it was a mixed media piece. It was a mixed media piece. Shout out to GS for purchasing that piece, by the way. I don't know where it come from. It just and stuff just pops up in my head, and it just started. My brain gets to working, and I just let it unfold how it unfolds. To be honest with you, some stuff I can already picture what I want it to be. Other stuff it just unravels. It's like layers. Absolutely, absolutely. Appreciate the love. Um, any more questions from the audience today? I know this one went a little bit faster than normal, and that's probably because I pre-mixed the white, um, which normally I don't really pre-mix anything, but I was worried that I might have to mix more white, and so because I was worried about that, I did it early, and then now we got the extra time. But that also leaves me the opportunity to share pieces with you guys because I don't always get a chance to show pieces at the end of the show from previous episodes. Matter of fact, I have to put another coat on. Let me move this real quick. A little dry before I get my stuff. All right. So a couple of pieces. I'll just show y'all. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. So this was the one from last week's episode. We called it Category 5. It's actually 5 colors in the canvas, and it just looks like a tornado Doppler type thing. So that's why it got that name. Where did I just do? Here we go. This other one, I gotta fill out the edge. This, I'm gonna have to put another layer of resin on it because I didn't get a chance to cover it all. But this is what, and this was like 2 weeks ago, this episode. But, so, I don't know if y'all can see that, but I have to put one more coat of resin on it. I basically have to fill in where it didn't, you know how things start to dry and then like puddles basically. So then it congregates to one area. Basically it made like dry spots on the piece. So that's why we got that. And that's also caused sometimes from air bubbles. If you get air bubbles in your resin, which I try not to get them in the resin, but when you're trying to stir it up and everything else like that, like it's not easy. It's not easy. Uh, if I'm just doing it and it's not like the show, like something like this, I could probably do it in like 10, 15 minutes. If it's not the show, like obviously the show I have, times in between where I'm doing my plug and everything like that, and explaining things. Like I don't have anybody to explain to if I'm just doing it by myself. So I already have it up here. It's just a matter of doing it, mixing up the colors. Which a lot of times, if I'm just doing something on my own, I already got the colors mixed up because I don't want to go through all that mixing the paint. Like I save the bottles and I mix up the paint and I put it back in the bottle so that I have it ready. But that takes away from the time to show. We have an hour, so I mean, I could do multiple pieces on here, but I'm also not just trying to just throw paint on canvas just to throw it on canvas either. But without further ado, I appreciate everybody tapping in today to Pour It on Juancho, and you can catch us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That was today's show, you guys. I'm gonna go and play this little outro music and let it ride out.